What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by
In your face.
Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. I'm Peck, Bulls _ Peck. My guys, Big Dave, bam! BAWL Sports, Will the GOAT. That's him. Perfectly Quaff. Gottlieb, Will _ Gottlieb, our pal and producer on the controls. Joey Spathis is at Joey Spathis. Joey, what did you screw up just now?
I don't want to talk about it.
You want to talk about it?
No. You know, in case somebody's watching. Usually the intro video just loads in when you export it, but it did not. So, and then when you do that, sometimes it puts the half camera back on you, and so it was a compounding issue. And I'm glad you brought more attention to it.
Hey,
sure. I'm sure everybody.
I could not bring it up if 4 seconds before you cued me, you said, "Oh shit."
It would have really worked if you had the big ass hat on, though. Then it would have really been awesome.
I would have been more mad if he was wearing that dumbass hat.
I was thinking about having well, the hat doesn't fit with the headphones. I would have had to put
all of those stupid jumbo size hats that people made that now exist for no reason. We need to find a way to turn those into fuel by burning them.
Who knows what to get Matt for Christmas now?
I swear to God.
Maybe a Sub-Zero hoodie.
Bow, you get this for sure.
How about that instead? Reminder, go grab yourself either the Sub-Zero tee or the Sub-Zero hoodie, available now in the CHGO merch locker, along with our brand new Chicago collection of various shirts and hoodies that we just dropped on Monday this week to celebrate our 2-year anniversary here at CHGO. Go check it out. All you diehards, 20% discount every time you shop at that merch locker.
I have a question. Because every time I see her name, I think this. Is it Cassie McCaskey or is it Casey?
I would pronounce that Cassie. Cassie?
Cassie? I said Casey.
Casey is Casey.
I feel you, but people, change their spellings around, and I don't want to get it wrong.
K.C.
Yeah.
Shout out KC Johnson.
I guess would be Cassie.
How does
Cassie
of Casey and JoJo spell it? Isn't it weird?
K-C-I.
Yes. Yeah. So there's the proper way.
So I'm saying everybody's got different ways to spell it. Will's brain just broke in half.
C3PO.
CP3PO. We got CP3 on deck tonight.
But hey, Cassie, Miss Kasky. Hi.
Hello. Welcome in, everybody. Drew, Jason, Ashland, Jeff,
so it's Cassie.
South Carson, yes. Anthony. Thanks, y'all, for joining us. Australia in the house.
Yes.
We got another late night one on deck, depending on where you are. If you are in Chicago, 9 p.m. tip. Oh,
just a tip.
I'm so excited that we have an afternoon tip off on Saturday to round out the week.
Not like 3 p.m.
Maybe it is. I like this comment. Maybe it is the chippiness is because of the later tips. Bulls get cranky a little bit. Vucevic is like tired, throwing towels around.
I can understand that.
There's so much potential for chippiness tonight.
True.
Because we got Draymond.
Yes.
We got notorious dirty piece of scumbag player, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, he is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not disagreeing. Wait, what?
I thought that was
he's dirty as shit.
Okay. I thought that was a protesting.
That was like, no, yeah, he is.
Okay.
That's what that was. Hey, Julia. No, yeah, he is. No, get out of here. No, he's a dirty ass player.
There's plenty of opportunities for chippiness tonight. We watched the Bulls get things a little chippy last night. John Collins, Chris Fleming, waiting for the date when they're going to get in the ring together. We'll see.
Of the night, Chris Fleming.
Yes, indeed. Also, like if I were a Chicago Bull, maybe not everybody on this current roster has been around long enough to have an appreciation for how much the Warriors have kicked the Bulls' ass over the last decade. But the Warriors have kicked the Bulls' ass over the last decade. Even when they play in Chicago, it's usually been an ass whooping by the Warriors.
Historic.
But when the Bulls are on the road in the Bay specifically, they bring an 8-game losing streak into the Chase Center tonight. And it dates back to pre-Chase Center when it was the Oracle Arena. And I was just flipping through today because I was curious. And, we'll get to injury updates. We'll get to matchup and what the Warriors are up to. But I wanted to start tonight by just talking about this losing streak that the Bulls are going to try to break tonight, because they are, by the way, also 2-0 on this road trip thus far.
Yes.
To make it 3-0, they will have to win on the Warriors floor for the first time since January of 2015.
That's a while ago.
Y'all remember? Y'all remember back then?
Going streaking.
There it is. You see, if you're watching with us on YouTube, that streak of L's, and then dating back to back when the Bulls won in the Bay, 113-111 was the final in OT. You know who the hero of that game was for the Bulls?
Tell me.
It was a man by the name of Derrick Rose, who
Didn't
dropped
have a
30
game winner?
points.
Yeah.
I've heard of this young man.
And I saw that box score from that way back when, 9 years ago, Bulls win against the Warriors on the road. And the box score made me cry. Because it was like, D. Rose led the Bulls with 30 points. Pau Gasol had a near 20-20 double-double with 8 assists.
Beast.
Joakim had a near 20-20 double-double with 6 assists. And I was like, everything since then, when it comes to Bulls playing the Warriors on the road,
Poopy.
bad.
Yeah.
And it's not just losses and losses and losses. Some of those scores, if you took a gander, embarrassing, one-sided scores. The Bulls' average margin of defeat to the Warriors on the road over this 8-game losing streak is 23.9 points.
Wow. That's a lot of points.
That is a hammer and a nail.
Yeah, I mostly know it for things being historic when we play them. And I don't mean that in a good way for the Bulls. Usually the Warriors are doing something historic. Of course, the Jackie Moon game, as I call it, the bloody head wound game.
The Bloody Clay game.
However you want to put it, seeing him do that.
When was that?
That was the 18-19 season?
Yes.
I believe.
I believe you're right. Then there was the Steph game in, I don't know if it was Oracle or the new arena they're in, but I remember he just went insane because I remember the photo so well of him hitting a baseline 3 and it being in the air and him already turned around talking to the fans.
Oh, yeah.
And having a good time while that ball is still in the air. I remember that photo was
that
burned.
game?
It's burned into my brain.
Flex.
It's burned
Was
into my
that
brain.
game?
Of course, he's flexing. he's having good. See, these are good memories for Will because he was there. You know what I'm saying? Covering the Warriors at that time. They're terrible memories for me.
Yeah.
I was here.
Not great.
Going through this shit.
I also looked
But I
up
appreciated the greatness. I did.
the leading scorer for the Warriors and the leading scorer for the Bulls in all 8 games of this 8-game losing streak when the Bulls are in the Bay. And for the Warriors, it's what you would expect, with one hilarious exception. And this is from the most recent game dating back to their last loss in November of 15. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Eric Pascal. What?
Oh,
remember that?
I remember that
Remember
game.
when all the
Paschal.
Yes.
Paschal. Yeah.
I remember
when all the
that.
Warriors were hurt and they were
Yes.
tanking and they beat the Bulls anyway.
I do remember that.
Klay
Yes, I
Thompson,
do.
Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. And then for the Bulls, meanwhile, recent years in all of these losses in
God.
Golden State, Vooch, Levine, Jerry and Grant, Robin Lopez, and then you get Jimmy Buckets one time, and then D. Rose with the 30 points in
Jerry and Grant.
the one win in the Bay.
Didn't the
in the
Bulls
past 10 years?
win a
Oh man.
TNT Bulls game against I think it was the 2017 Warriors?
It's
three alphas?
It's possible that they
pretty
did
sure
that
they did,
at
but
home.
that would have been a home
because the
game,
TNT Bulls were TNT Thursday night at home. That was the specifications of that streak.
Definitely.
That might have been the last time. Oh, no, they beat them last year.
They did beat them last year at
Vooch
home.
had 45.
Yeah, crazy game.
Shout out Vooch.
I was
they,
there for that one, too.
They did drop flex the game to the Warriors earlier this season, and it was a while back. Zach LaVine played and actually had himself a nice game in that one. Put up points. I believe he dished out 8 assists, grabbed 7 rebounds, but the Bulls just couldn't quite pull it off. I think it was a big run by the Bulls to take a lead at halftime. The Bulls were up, I think, 13 at half, and then the Warriors had one of those third quarters where the Warriors were they just decided to be the Warriors.
They're warrioring.
And if you'll recall, that was on the Bulls Ring of Honor night.
That was the Ring of Honor night game? Oh, God.
Yes.
Sure was.
Because remember,
Right,
the Bulls,
yes.
They did it for
kicking
Steve
ass.
Kerr.
And I was sitting there thinking, like, this is immediate karma.
Yep.
Immediate karma.
Carnage. That's what that
Carnage.
was.
Oh, you're speaking with a sheer joy during this whole segment there, Will. No joy
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with you guys. I get bored at these games. You know, it's not the same level of entertainment as hanging out with you guys. At the
I
studio.
mean,
Well
I'm
done.
happy to be here.
Well done, Goat.
it would be, I think, big. Even though, like, the only person who's been around for a number of years of this Warriors ass kicking,
Yeah.
who's playing tonight in a Bulls jersey is Kobe White. Like, he is the longest tenured Bull who's actually playing, who has a familiarity with getting his ass kicked by the Warriors all the time.
Yeah. He's coming back, though, fresh and new in this one. I'm anxious to see how he plays in this game because the only way I know to go against this Warriors team is to go shot for shot with them. There's no defense for Steph. There's nothing you can do. You just got to take that. So who's going to match up with that? I'm talking about the guard position. I'm not talking about DeMar.
Right.
I'm talking about the guard position. Who can match up with him? And I want to see Kobe have one of those nights to continue to propel him forward as far as his most improved player award run. I believe his odds now plus 700. They were plus 800 yesterday.
Okay.
After today, as I checked today, they're
Yeah.
plus 700 today. So. Yeah, I just want him to continue to move forward with that and see what kind of game he could get coming off of playing all those minutes last night. I don't know how many minutes Steph and them played, but it was a blowout. So maybe they got some
fewer
time to
minutes
get some
than
rest.
Kobe and DeMar played last
I'm
night.
going to safely assume that. And yeah, so that's going to be really interesting, man, to watch how Kobe comes out tonight because it's a big game for the Bulls. One, of course, you just won the victory. But two, just ending that kind of a streak.
Right.
Going against this team, man. Like, that's a lot of ass whoopings, y'all. Like, when he says last 8 games, that's literally 8 years because you play in this
Right.
team once, you know what I mean, at their home. So it's a long time to be getting kicked around.
Indeed. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, dive into tonight's action, starting lineups for both teams. Some good news on the Bulls front. But the Warriors, man, are about as healthy and scary as they've been all season. When they got Wiggins back from his short absence recently, the Warriors are all systems go, and they're playing like it. So we'll take a look at what the Warriors have been up to recently on the other side of the break. Hit that like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube. You know what to do. You know who to do it for. Our dear friend Troll Joe. Make sure you also subscribe. 50.1K.
Ooh.
And growing.
And grow.
Pregame tonight brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America.
Pick your prize.
Pick your continent. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers, not battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. Hate sharks. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 different player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Football season is over. It's okay. We can move past it. The action on the floor, on the hardwood, as they say, is heating up. Whether it's basketball, whether it's tournament season or the fight for home court in the playoffs, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Conference tourneys are here. That means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer. Be a part of the action with Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. You can also now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, college basketball entries right now, today. You can do it tonight on the NBA slate if you want. America's #1 fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Promo code CHGO for that first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Simple. What a go got lead.
It's a simple game.
Well, if you don't mind. Because please
simple
tell
game.
me what time it is.
Game time who?
Ooh, I like it. You shouldn't have to worry, y'all, when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you with Allard. Last minute deals Views from your seat, all-in prices, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. It is not the place. No. It is the place to find last-minute seats, find exclusive flash deals, and sponsored deals on tickets for football, hockey, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. With Zone Deals, you pick the section. Game Time does the selecting for an average savings of, drum roll my back,
Savings
18%. What? And with the Game Time guarantee, it means you will always, and I mean always, get the best price out there. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. And we go. Terms apply. That's CHGO, $20 off your first purchase. Hit them, Matt.
Terms apply.
Yes. Download Game Time today. Last minute ticket, lowest price guaranteed. Control your spasms. What time is it?
Game time.
Shout out to Orlando Cruz in the comments who said, I just found out y'all do a pregame show. What? Yeah. Where you been, Orlando?
I know, man.
Only been doing this for 2 years.
Better late than never, though, man. Welcome.
Join us.
Tell your friends.
Half hour before tip-off.
Subscribe. Pick up a hoodie.
Exception, oftentimes on Saturdays or Sundays. We'll usually take pregame off on the weekends. But yes, Monday through Friday, all season long. Half hour before tip-off, we're here. Come hang out.
Like Jeff said, no joke. I was singing Terms Apply at work today.
Oh, man, speaking of, I think it was Stu on Twitter. I think that's right. Tweeted at me saying that he was laughing at I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's line all day today. I was like, I'm glad. Because I also laugh about that constantly.
Dude, it's so funny. Because I just pictured him chasing after him immediately when you said that.
Well, terrific. The nail comes out next week. Well, you can hardly notice it.
Well, that's just great for how. Oh, my God.
Hit it on Frankenstein's fat foot.
Oh, man.
That movie holds up so well.
Man, it is so funny, man. That is so funny.
Okay, good news. Bulls fans, Tory Craig, active and available tonight.
Woo!
We kept seeing improving updates on the injury report, Will. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little surprised. I believe Billy did set a minutes restriction for Tory tonight, his first game back after this absence from his All-Star break injury. Said 12 to 16 minutes is, I believe, what I saw. So happy to have him back. Sounds like they're going to ease him back into action. But for Bulls fans who have been dealing with so many unanswered questions when it comes to injuries and injury updates this season, and not just this season, but for years now, this is a pleasantly surprising update that we can see some Tory Craig on the court tonight.
Yeah, and that's about 3 to 4 minute stints. So they'll try to sprinkle him in and they have not had a power forward in several weeks now.
How
with Patrick
dare you?
out.
Alex Caruso is starting at that spot tonight.
Well, he has expressed that is a tough job for him, and I agree. I mean, DeMar is really the de facto power forward. He's the one that's guarding like the off wing. So Caruso will get like the primary assignment. Really, whoever that is, and the rest of the guys will just kind of slot in. But he needs some help out there, and the Bulls need some spacing. They need to improve their offensive rebounding. Both of those things have struggled since Tory was out. And the Warriors, they run a small lineup. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if the Bulls want to match that, or maybe now they do try to go a little bit of Vooch and Drummond out there to really try to put pressure on the Kuminga, Draymond Green front line. So it'll just be kind of interesting. But at the end of the day, Billy now has a little bit more options. He has more depth, and he has like a really solid role player that can come in and do his job and give you, even if it's 3 to 4 minutes at a time, like give you some real contributions that, the Bulls have been like cycling through Bitim, Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, who's back with the team today.
Terry is also back.
Okay.
Seeking anybody who can play that role, and now he's got his guy.
And I think you hit it on the head right there. And it's not just options in depth. Like you just say, it's good options. You know what I'm saying? Good depth. Like you're not just putting him out there like our guy Patim and hoping that he's going to give you something. Tory Craig is going to give you something on either side of the floor. So that makes it easy for Billy, who also loves his vets. You know what I mean? So because they can stem the tide and you know exactly what he needs out there on the floor. So it just having that helps Chicago Bulls just be a better basketball team, a more competent basketball team.
So good news for the Bulls, who will have more players available tonight with Tory coming back, Dalen back with the team. The Warriors, meanwhile, gentlemen, as healthy as they've been all season.
Great.
I saw this from one of the Warriors reporters yesterday leading up to their game against the Bucks, the front end of the Warriors back-to-back. It was a clean injury report for the Warriors, and it was the first time they'd had a clean injury report since November. Wiggins coming back most recently. They had stints where Gary Payton was out with an injury. CP3 missed time with an injury this season. And now Steve Kerr just has this bevy of options. And we've also seen, since the last time the Bulls played the Warriors back in January, that Steve's made some adjustments to his rotation. Notably, four-time Warriors champion Klay Thompson moving to a bench role. I think most people would have expected that CP3, despite what he said last fall when he was like, oh, you heard that I'm coming off the bench? Who'd you hear that from? Yeah, you're coming off the bench. But Klay going to the bench is, I think, a bigger deal. But it seems to have been working for them because in this recent stretch of games, as Klay has made that shift, they're winning games. So their starting five tonight is the same one they rolled out last night against the Bucks, which was a dominant win, by the way. 125-90. Yeah. Steph
90.
Yeah.
Like 9-0.
Like 9-0. They learned that one from the Bulls. Pods, one of the new hilarious faces of the NBA. Wiggins, Kuminga, who we discussed in pregame last night, being in that conversation along with Kobe for Most Improved Player award this season, and Draymond. There is your starting five for the Warriors these days. And last night, Steve used a 10-man rotation with Klay, Chris Paul, Moody, the young and Trace Jackson-Davis, who's shown some good things for them this season, and the glove part two coming off the bench. That is a formidable five-man bench unit. They also have Kevon Looney and Dario Saric kicking around. And Steve was like, yeah, you guys can have mop-up duty last night because we're winning by 1 million. That is a lot of options.
That's really cool. And you said Wiggins too, right?
Wiggins is starting. So he is back.
It's good that he's back. I know he was.
I think he only played like 18 minutes last night in the starting lineup because they're easing him back in.
But yeah, he definitely was out because he was dealing with some personal things. So that's good that he's back also. But yeah, like again, having good depth is a good thing, and gives you tons and tons of options. And Steve Kerr, and what I love, one of the things I should say I love watching about Golden State is watching them make those adjustments at halftime because they always do. If something's clicking for the other team and working for you, you'll see immediately they make that change coming out in the third quarter because that's what good teams do. They make immediate changes and run your ass out the gym and end the game. And by the fourth quarter, you got some ice bags on your knees and you're chilling out. So, yeah, like you can see that really working for them. And, yeah, that's terrifying also. And also about Klay, because I know I've said to you before and said on here how I thought that, he was going to have that decline. I thought it was a brilliant move to put him on the bench because all I was thinking was if he's not on this team, that's exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. If he went somewhere else, it was going to be coming off the bench. And shout out to Klay for being like, okay, I'm coming off the bench. Fine, I'll do that, whatever to help the team. And it helps him, especially a guy having those kind of knee issues and having as many knee surgeries as he's had. It's going to catch up with you. That's just what it is. But that shot ain't going nowhere. So allowing him to come off the bench, getting that rest and not playing as many minutes, but still being in like during those clutch minutes, you know what I'm saying? Or testing to see if he's hot in this game. You've seen his shot has just been on fire since he started coming off of that bench, man, because it doesn't go anywhere. And you're playing a second unit, and Klay Thompson most likely will be better than whoever you putting out there on your second unit. Of course, there are definitely examples of other players that can match him, but in general, your second unit isn't going to be as good as Klay Thompson. So that's really great. That's just more great coaching by Steve Kerr. Signed a new contract, new 2-year deal with them, man. Read up. So yeah, man, Golden State is Golden State, bro. They're gonna Golden State. That's who they are.
And that's been kind of the silver lining, I would say, of this season for them, which has on the whole been kind of a struggle, is they've had to make some big adjustments, and they've kind of had to like have some of their younger players grow up a little bit, maybe faster than they had been before. I mean, Kuminga has become a like near star player. He is exploding. He's been fantastic. Pajemski has been really, really good, and he's starting for them. And now all of a sudden, Trace Jackson-Davis, who you mentioned, had like 4 blocks last night. I mean, he's been really
he had
solid.
some solid D on Giannis last night.
And so now you've got some versatility, you've got some options, you've got some depth, and you've got like a little bit more energy and fast-paced play that you can plug in around Steph and kind of lift him up a little bit too. So it's been kind of a up and down, mostly down year for them, but they are finally whole, and they are dangerous as ever when they're playing the way that they have been the last few weeks.
Up finally. I mean, it looks like we might have potentially a Warriors-Lakers play-in game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Steph versus LeBron, winner go home, one game, like would be epic.
Yeah.
The NBA would love that.
Yeah.
I
would love that.
watch.
Yes.
But I mean, so as of tonight, Warriors have a half game on the Lakers, who are in 10th, Warriors in 9th. But the Warriors are also only 2.5 back of Phoenix in 6th right now.
Yeah.
There's some tight stuff going on in the middle of that Western Conference seeding, and it's possible with 20 or so games to go that the Warriors could still make their way out of the play-in tournament if they keep playing this well. Because over their last 15 games, it's always good to look at recent trends. What are these teams doing recently? Because the Warriors had some rough months earlier. They have the second best record in the NBA over the last 15 games, behind only Boston, who's 13-2.
Yeah.
Warriors are 12-3. In that stretch, their offense has been middling. What's been really interesting, Will, is that they have really vaulted up their defense. They have the 4th best defense in the NBA over the last 15 games. Wow. Maybe sure you build in a little bit of luck around that, opponents missing shots and whatnot, but it's wild that the Warriors finally getting their shit together, so to speak, has been more about their defense thriving and not their offense ascending to the Warriors of the old days levels.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you get Draymond Green back in the lineup, right? So he came back and they really turned things around, but you've got smart young players like Pajemski and Kuminga and Trace Jackson-Davis who are able to come in and learn a system and execute it. You've got Chris Paul coming in off the bench. You've got Gary Payton and just these guys that understand how to execute their scheme. And now when you've got your defensive anchor back in, everything kind of falls into place. So they're also going straight away with the small lineup with Draymond at center.
Yep.
I think that helps give them a little bit more versatility. They're not really messing around with the big lineups as much anymore because they know they've got to get their best players on the court as much of the game as possible. And so this is who they really are. I mean, that has been, everybody just kind of thought, during their championship runs, the first thing you think of Steph and Clay and KD is like shooting, right? 3 points, pull-ups, all that. But they were elite because they were also an elite defense.
Correct.
They had the switch ability. They had Iguodala coming in, Draymond at the peak of his powers. So all the kind of core and pillars of that are still there. And you're seeing everybody else kind of slide in. And the other thing is Steph has gotten so much stronger.
Yes.
And that really helps him, not get picked on as much. He's able to switch and execute. So they are just a well-oiled machine back there. And I think it really stems from Draymond coming back into the lineup.
Do you think the Bulls, will they match up with them? Like you said, they're going to go small. Like, what do you feel is the Bulls' best counter to that defensively for that? Is it going small? Is it putting the bigs in? What do you feel they should do?
So I kind of think Billy's going to try the big thing tonight. I obviously haven't heard anything, but I just have a feeling. Obviously that can hurt you in some instances because they could run you off the court. But with Kuminga, with Draymond, like you are able to maybe try some stuff defensively that could just put them out of their comfort zone a little bit. And I've talked to Billy about this a little bit. He said before that he's willing to try to force the other team to conform to what they are doing to match them in their lineup decisions. But I think most of the time when we see him, he's matching up lineups. So he'll go to the big lineup when you're playing a Timberwolves team or a Cavs team that has the 2 bigs. Whereas, we haven't seen it as much going against some of these smaller teams to try to force them to put a Kevon Looney back in the game when you don't necessarily want to. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how you play with that. But that's, again, been one of the reasons why the Warriors have always been so difficult to guard is because they can kill you with a big lineup, they can kill you with the small lineup, and they can force you to try to beat them at their game, which is not an easy thing to do when you've got Steph and Clay and Chris Paul now and Pajemski and Kuminga and all these guys.
Connor in the comments said, "Unleash the bigs. If we're going down, let's at least go down in style." Is that style?
I mean, double doubles for him and for Vooch and Drummond. I mean, hey, why not? And shout out, you know what? Let me give some love to Vooch. We didn't even mention Vooch yesterday. Having 23 and 12. Because he played like trash in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But he had
and got absolutely victimized in the third quarter in that pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like
John Collins
he was getting cooked.
Correct. But he really had a solid game, I thought. And behind the 3-point line also. He 23 and 12, I believe he ended up with. So, yeah, and you mentioned the last time, like him having a big game against the Warriors, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting, something to watch also, man, to see if Vooch can carry that over.
Jake Reynolds in the comments said, if we get blown out, I'd be fine with the boys throwing knucks again. Entertain me.
Joey's excited.
I want to see some sparks fly.
I do, too.
Why not?
Joaquin Goat over
Are
here.
you not entertained?
Joey, first basket? You were right yesterday.
I was.
You said Io.
I think that was 2 days ago.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Okay. Well, then Io scored it twice this week. I will go with DeMar DeRozan. Thank you very much.
DeMar first basket.
Put
DeMar.
all of your guap on it. Just kidding. Just a recommendation.
Interesting choice because he's chosen to do most of his scoring in the fourth over
That's
their
true.
last couple games. What was it? 35 points spanning the last 2 fourth quarters, Will?
Ridiculous.
17 and then 17?
19 or
Yes.
something
Or-
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Bonkers.
silly, ridiculous
A lot
like
and a
that.
lot. A lot and a lot more.
And also, shout out to Julia, who says I look pretty damn amazing in this hoodie right now.
Julia's not wrong.
And she is not
Pitbull
wrong
Nation,
at all.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Could look dope in this Sub-Zero hoodie if you want to. I mean, maybe not as dope as Dave because
That part.
I've known this man a while and I stopped trying to look as dope as Dave because it can't be done. Cannot be done. But you can try
Yes.
and come up just shy of it. And the Sub-Zero hoodie.
That's right. Bask in
Good
your
way to do
own
that.
dopeness. Being
That's
yourself.
right.
Bask in your own.
Exactly.
And this is my favorite color, so of course it's going to look great on me. Red is my favorite color. So, yes.
Jake is guessing Kobe with a heat check. First three, let's go.
Ooh.
Kobe was hot last night.
Yeah.
Let's hope it continues.
And playing against one of his mentors also in
That's
CP3.
true. Ooh.
So,
You know what? I want the mentorship to end tonight.
ooh. Student becoming the teacher?
I want like a Kobe just putting Chris Paul in his place moment tonight.
Okay. I
The
kinda
future
like
is
that.
now, old man.
The sheriff is near.
Mostly, I just don't like Chris Paul.
Well, that's fair.
And I don't want Kobe having him as his mentor.
Okay. Sal
he's-
Garcon says Vooch, first bucket.
Eh?
I can see that.
It makes Stacey happy. All right, let's go. We are past 9 o'clock here in Chicago. Game time right around the corner. Game time who? Hit the like on your way out if you haven't done it yet. We appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. Make sure you also subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Your family. Tell your dog to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Check out that locker, chgolocker.com. Grab yourself some goodies. And we will talk to y'all very late for postgame.
That's right.
Let's go. End
do
the
it.
streak.
End it.
Even I'm rooting for a W.
Oh, that's saying something. Peace and love. We out.